正解
Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage, Chapter 228, Silencing. A few days after Xi Jingxing returned to the residence of Prince Ruai, he had to make another trip to Fuyang City. At the beginning, Liu Zhengzhuan chose Fuyang City as the base of rebellion because of the complicated powers in Fuyang City. Even though the Moyan army people were sweeping away the remaining forces, they were only military forces. This time the imperial family would not let any one of those hidden dogs of Liu Zhengzhuan go. It was better to kill 3,000 than to let one off. Thus the matter was handed over to Xi Jingxing to oversee personally. After Xi Jingxing left, all the matters inside and outside the residence of Prince Ruai was handed over to Shen Miao to manage. Due to the heavy weight that the residence of Prince Ruai had in the entire Long Yi, many officials were watching and monitoring the every moves of the residence of Prince Ruai. The more critical the situation was, the more that they could not make a mistake. Shen Miao was like usual, often chatting with those Furans and subtly passing on some information, thus the situation was controlled. The disaster that was brought by the Liu family was past, and because the rebellion started from the Liu family, there was no impact to the commoners of Long Yi. At the most they would only scold the Liu family for being rebels. As long as the commoners were stabilized, the officials would not dare to make unnecessary movements. The overall situation was stable and everything seemed to be the same as before, with the exception of one family, the residence of the Prime Minister, the Yi family. Yi Maokai had gone through arduous training in the imperial courts for so many years, and when Emperor Yongle was initially enthroned, he was only a weak youth, but now this youth had grown up to become an unfathomable male, and his means were as heartless as his father. Thus it seemed that there was no more living routes for the Yi family. Yi Maokai was not as stupid as Liu Zhengzhuan, nor was he also arrogant. The forces that Emperor Yongle shown had made Yi Maokai understand that the Yi family was incapable of competing with the imperial family of Great Liang, as it was like a thorn that was pierced onto the emperor's body. It was alright that it did not itch or was painful, but what the Yi family had to pay was the fate of the entire residence. No one wanted to die, and no one was willing to embark on a route that would end. Yi Maokai started to plan to flee. He hoped that he could protect his only descendant, but when necessary, this could also be abandoned. However, the most important thing was that the every moves of the Yi family was monitored by the imperial family's people, so it was very difficult to escape. Moreover, no one had thought that Emperor Yonda's moves would be that fast. On this day, Shen Miao just came back from the Imperial Censor's Furan residence, and it was almost late in the evening. The long summer finally passed and the winds of early autumn started to form. The trees and flowers in the courtyard started to fall and cover the floor in a thin layer. Even though it was swept away, when a wind blew, a few more leaves fluttered down. Jingzis was having headache due to anger, but could not help but take the broom to sweep the courtyard. Shen Miao sat at the edge of the courtyard, and Tang Shu came over and said to her with a smile, "Furan, the kitchens has boiled soup. When the soup is ready, one will instruct them to bring a bowl to Furan." These days Furan had been waking up early and returning late at night. It is indeed tiring. It is only accompanying people to talk. It is not tiring. Shen Miao smiled gently. She also thought about Xi Jingxing, who was still in Fuyang, and could not help but sighed. Things were still far from complete. Currently this Yang Yi seemed calm, but danger was hiding deeper. Even if the Yi family was taken care, how about Mingqi, which was thousands of li, 1 li equals 1 mile, away? Now her entire heart was hanging two ways. At one side it was hang up with Mingqi, and the other side was worried about Great Liang. Just how long could Emperor Yongle's condition last for, and the uncertain matter of when Fu Ziyi would join forces with Qin country and attack Great Liang. Once there was any accident, only Xi Jingxing could handle the responsibility in the imperial family of Great Liang. Likewise, she had to face even more problems. Xi Jingxing's words were right. There was no time. There was no time for them to slowly deal with the other party. Just as she was thinking, she saw Mo King walking in hurriedly with a strange expression. These days Shen Miao had instructed Mo King to monitor the Yi siblings day and night. Yi Mai had already aligned with Jin Xingming, and Jin Xingming would be leaving Great Liang. Shen Miao had decided not to let her succeed, as from some perspective, Yi Mai was more of an endless trouble than compared to Yi Maokai. The emperor's side had decreed to invite Yi Maokai into the palace. Mo King said. Shen Miao was startled. Enter the palace? Mo King nodded his head. Correct. Currently the Yi residence is in chaos and the servants are escaping scattered, but there are people from the palace that are guarding outside. Insider is however in a mess, Shen Miao muttered. How could it be this fast? Everyone knew that Emperor Yongle wanted to deal with the Yi family, so she was also not surprised, but Xi Jingxing was currently in Fuyang and Emperor Yongle's health was not good. To send the order when Xi Jingxing was present would perhaps be more confident, but when Shen Miao thought about it, perhaps by giving the Yi family an opportunity to breathe, Yi Maokai might take the opportunity to escape. Now by using the formal reason of inviting Yi Maokai to enter the palace and imprison him, it is smashing the head of the thieves first. The Yi residence, without the head, would first be in chaos, so when one would clean up, it would be easy picking. She thought for a bit and said, You, Kong Yang and Tai Yi, the three of you immediately go to Yi residence now and monitor Yi Mai and sibling. If they make any moves, only follow. If they want to leave Long Yi, stop them and bring them back. Life and death do not matter. 3 people all monitor Yi Mai and sibling? Kong Yang jumped down from the tree and said, It is just an overly wastage of talents. One heard that the Yi Furen is not an easy master. Why not I watch over that Yi Furen? No need to bother about her. Shen Miao said. Even though she is intelligent, she is after all a married woman. These days the information that one heard was that Yi Maokai did not let Yi Furen meddle with his formal affairs, so Yi Furen is not in contact with Yi Maokai's forces, so she can only be an intelligent woman only. The emperor did not let her enter the palace, and it was because of this reason. She, one person, would not be able to create any wind or waves. It is Yi Mai and sibling that is very cunning. For them to leave the Yi residence this easily, one felt that it would not be that easy. She would definitely have some plans that would be beneficial to her. This is what you need to pay most attention to. Kong Yang thought about it and felt that she spoke with a bit of reason before nodded his head. Tai Yi had always obeyed orders, not to mention Mo King. When 3 of them was about to leave, Shen Miao paused and suddenly stopped them. Yes, if you encounter the crippled young master of the Yi residence, there is no need to harm him. If someone wants to harm him, remember to help him. In the night, the Yi residence was in a chaotic mess. No one had expected that the imperial family would suddenly send people to invite Yi Maokai, even though the servants did not know what exactly had happened. But these days they had been hearing rumors, and now that Yi Maokai was invited away at this moment, Yi Maokai's resistance had confirmed the conjecture in their heart. The first thing they did was to pack up their clothes and jewelry to prepare to flee. Even though no one would shed tears when they fled from a hopeless household, they still pretended that they hoped that it was just a misunderstanding and still did their work. The entire residence was filled with people living with fear. These servants are usually disciplined by Yi Furen very well, but this was a life-threatening matter, so unless one was a saint, no one would take it for granted. In the midst of this chaos, Yi Furen was starting to pack up her personal gold and jewelry. She had long saw Yi Maokai's plan. She initially still had a trace of hope on Yi Maokai, but in Yi Maokai's fleeing plans, it did not include her from the beginning to the end. A married couple was birds of the same forest, but at the face of trouble, each would fly on its own. Yi Furen at last saw clearly that Yi Maokai did not have any concerns or care about the husband and wife relationship, so she would treat it as though she did not have a husband. Currently Yi Maokai's fleeing plans was to her advantage, as who let Yi Maokai become the biggest target in Emperor Yongle's eyes. She carefully searched for all the banknotes and jewelry that were light and could be taken around. After all, one could not sit still and wait. Yi Mai and Yik were also the same at this moment. Yik was pacing back and forth in the room with his brows full of anxiety as he asked Yi Mai periodically, "Older sister, is what you said true? The Prime Minister residence is truly collapsing?" How can this be possible? One did not hear anything at all previously. Perhaps the emperor invited father to the palace for some court matters and it is not like what we are thinking about. Yi Mei packed up some bank notes as she had started to pawn those jewelries that a few days back as planned for money before exchanging them for bank notes that could be used in all the banks in Great Liang. These things were good to carry around and were also essential. She said, "Are you still deceiving yourself till now? If it was only to discuss about matters of the court, then why did Yi Maokai instructed the guards to take action towards those who tried to escape when he was invited away? This is clearly making sure that no one flees." But there was no a single signs at all. Yeek still refused to believe Yi Mei's words at all. "It is just that you did not pay any attention." Yeek's eyes widened and stared at Yi Mei incredulously. "Eldest sister, what do you mean? Could it be that you have known earlier? If you already knew it, then why did you not tell me?" "I only guessed it and most of the time still relied on intuition. Since there is no evidence, even if I were to tell you, will you believe it?" Yi Mei sneered in her heart but on the surface said warmly, "What's more, I have arranged these matters myself. You are after all my younger brother. Now that the Yi family is collapsing, we cannot sink together with them and one have to find an opportunity to escape. I will bring you along." Yeek's expression was somewhat complicated and seemed to be very reluctant. One had thought that the Yi residence was the best choice to stay in and one had not think that one would not even have a single official rank at all and now would even have to flee like a dog. Thinking about this, it would better if one did not come over to the Yi family and remain in Qin province. That might not be necessarily so. All of Yi Mei's bank notes had been packed and it was divided to a few bunches. One always have to ensure one's life is intact. "You better not wait here and go to your room to pack up all the valuables. These things needs to be used when one is fleeing." Yeek moved his lips but at the end he did not say anything and accepted his fate as he walked out with his head down from Yi Mei's room. It seemed that he had listened to Yi Mei's words and returned to the room to pack up. After Yi Mei saw him left, there was not a sound in the room for a long time before she stood up. A dark look flashed in her eyes and after a short moment, she gently exited the room. She headed towards Yi Maokai's study. Yi Maokai's study was closed and normally only Yeek and Yi Furan entered the study as Yi Maokai would occasionally speak to them. However, Yi Maokai had a cautious personality, thus if he really wanted to hide some things, he would not place it in the study where it would be easily found. However, the more dangerous a place was, the safer it was. Thus Yi Maokai did the opposite and deliberately place it in the study, which was rather surprising. However, Yi Mei had gotten a tip from Yeek previously, thus she knew that there was a painting of a beauty in Yi Maokai's study. There seemed to be some flaw in the beauty painting and there was something important to Yi Maokai in it. Now that Yi Maokai was taken away and there was no hope for Yeek to be an official, this thing could only be placed here. Everyone in the Prime Minister residence was anxious and there was not a single person outside the study. It was very easy for Yi Mei to enter it and she quickly found that paint of a beauty. The painting was hung on the wall that was directly facing Yi Maokai's desk. Yi Mei walked over and used her hand to touch it but she felt that the painting was very flat, as if nothing was wrong with it. How did Yeek discover it? Yi Mei did not give up and search for it seriously but came out with nothing. She was a little discouraged and suspected that the thing behind the painting had been moved elsewhere. Yi Mei was angry with that painting of a beauty and glared at the painting with dissatisfaction when she saw that there was something wrong with the painting. The beauty in the painting was standing under the peach tree smiling and her cheeks seemed to have a blush, poising in a shy manner. However, that pair of eyes was very indifferent as it did not contain any smiles, but the sparkle gave others a wrong impression that this painting was lifelike, and made others feel a chill behind their back. Yi Mei's heart paused and she suddenly reached out her hands to touch the beauty's eyes. Sure enough, she felt a hard convex bulge and she pressed it. She heard a paw sound and suddenly on top of the beauty painting, there was a concave. Her heart became excited as she reached out and fished out a metal little box. That little box should be what Yeek had mentioned, Yi Maokai's most precious item. After Yi Mei had gotten the stuff, she no longer stayed and turned around to leave. At this time, The doors of the study suddenly opened and Yi Mai was startled as she saw Yi Hongguang rolling his wheelchair in. Upon seeing Yi Mai, Yi Hongguang's eyes also widened. Eldest sister? Yi Hongguang was very worried today. All the servants in the residence were in chaos and his position as an inconvenienced young master was not high. Normally it was Yi Maokai that protected him so they would not treat him badly, but when Yi Maokai left, Yi Furan would not even see him so those servants would not be bothered about him. That there was no one to even push his wheelchair. Yi Hongguang was also very worried about Yi Maokai in his heart, but there was no one in the entire residence that talked to him. Under all the different hardships, he could only roll himself to Yi Maokai's study, as if the study still had Yi Maokai's air, and he could feel that he was the young master of the Yi family with his father backing, who knew that when he entered the study, he would see Yi Mai. Eldest sister, why are you here? Yi Hongguang asked. Yi Mai was holding the metal box, and after seeing that it was Yi Hongguang that entered, she became relieved and smiled. Oh, father had previously asked me to come over to take some things and pass it to him when he returned from the palace. I saw that all the servants in this residence was busy, so I came over to find it for myself. What thing is it? Yi Hongguang's gaze landed on the small box in Yi Mai's embrace. Is it the little box that eldest sister is carrying? Yi Mai smiled. It is. She then said, third younger brother is also here to look for something? Then I will not bother you. The room will be left for third younger brother. May third younger brother slowly search. She was about to leave, and just as she was past Yi Hongguang's wheelchair, she heard Yi Hongguang suddenly speaking. Eldest sister, don't you know that father had never let females enter his study? Yi Mai paused and her feet stopped at once. Yi Hongguang's eyes were very clear and childlike, but at this time it seemed to be very sharp. He said, eldest sister, why do you want to lie? Why lie to me? I did not lie to you. Yi Mai firmed up her thoughts and said with a smile, I am saying the truth. If you don't believe, then wait for father's return and ask him. Then you will know if what I said is true or false. However, Yi Hongguang did not hear Yi Mai's words and continued to speak. Is it because of this small box in your arms? Because you want to steal the things inside the small box? This small box belongs to my father, right? Even though one do not know what it is, but seeing that you stealing it in such a chaotic time, one think that this thing is important to my father and is very valuable by itself. Yi Mai was startled. This youth, who seemed to be weak and could not take the wind, had after all inherited some things from Yi Maokai. Even though he was not familiar with the ways of the world, he was undoubtedly very intelligent. Yi Mai clenched her fists. Put this small box down and I can treat it as nothing had happened. Yi Hongguang said. Third younger brother. Yi Mai tried to coax him. This small box is something that father instructed me to take. I really did not steal it. Since you did not steal it and it was father that instructed you to take, then one is not in a hurry. Wait till father return, then you can personally give it to him. Yi Hongguang was not willing to give in a little at all. Yi Mai saw that the agreed time to meet Jin Xingming was drawing closer. She became anxious. What if I am not willing? Why not? Yi Hongguang frowned. Could it be that you really stole it? Yi Mai was somewhat annoyed in her heart. Yi Hongguang's thoughts were different from normal people, thus she did not know how to make this youth give in to her. If one said that he was intelligent, he was dumb, as he would hand over the things in his hands to other. If one said that he was stupid, he was however about to see the uniqueness of this small box and stopped her at such a critical time. Seeing Yi Mai not moving, Yi Hongguang's good temper started to close up gradually. He said seriously, if eldest sister is insistent, then I can only call mother over and let mother stop you. Yi Furan? Even though Yi Furan was not worth mentioning in the eyes of Emperor Yongle and was only a somewhat smart woman, in the Prime Minister residence, all the servants had to listen to Yi Furan's command. Moreover, even though Yi Furan recognized her as her daughter, she would only stand on the side of Yi Maokai's. If Yi Furan knows about this, one feared that the small box could not be protected. No. Yi Mai blurted out, then put down the small box. Yi Mai said, third younger brother, listen to me. Someone come. Yi Hongguang suddenly shouted out, scaring Yi Mai so much that she immediately covered his mouth. Yi Hongwang started to struggle, but he could not walk and was weak, thus he was completely controlled by Yi Mai. As Yi Mai covered his mouth, her gaze landed not far off from her hand, onto the big pair of scissors on top of the paper basket. A flash appeared in her eyes and she no longer cared in her heart. She did not hesitate as she grabbed the scissors and stabbed it into Yi Hongwang's chest without even wrinkling her brows. Yi Hongwang's mouth and nose and was caught off guard by Yi Mai's stab. After struggling his legs a few times, his eyes stared straight at Yi Mai, as if he had not thought that she would be such a vicious female. He no longer had the energy to shout and could only moan laboriously. Yi Mai glanced at him coldly and said, "One initially did not want you to die, but you really talk too much." She then turned around and left. Yi Hongwang fell onto the ground as the wheelchair tipped over. His entire body was flat on the ground and gradually the blood pooled around the floor. He tried so hard to crawl to the doors to call others, but how would it be easy? The doors that were nearby was currently like an unreachable road, so long that it made one despair. Tai Yi and the few just arrived in the Yi residence but did not see Yi Mai's whereabouts. One had thought that Yi Mai had fled in the short amount of time, but when they searched to the study, they jumped in shock. Yi Hongwang was on the floor in a pool of blood. One did not know if he was dead or alive. Kong Yang asked, "What happened? What should be done?" Mo King came out from another room and said, "The Yi siblings plan to flee out from the residence. Older brother Tai Yi's King Gong is good, so you should follow." Tai Yi complied and jumped out of the window before disappearing into the night. Mo King's gaze landed on Yi Hongwang, who was on the floor, and also jumped in shock. What happened? One does not know. Kong Yang scratched his head and knelt by Yi Hongwang to check his breathing. There is still breathing, but one do not know if he could be saved. It seemed that he had been schemed by others. Mo King said, "Quickly attract people over, forget about it." Kong Yang patted his hands. The servants in this residence cannot even take care of themselves. How would there be time to take care of this young master? Have you heard of a defeated phoenix is not better than a chicken? Moreover, this residence's Furen do not like him and would be clapping one's hands upon seeing his situation, so how would they call a physician over, then bring him back? Mo King walked over to Yi Hongwang's side and carried him up. Yi Hongwang was weak and one did not need much effort to carry him. Mo King said, "Furen sees this kid differently, thus it would not be good if we did not save him." One thinks that if Furen is present, she would also make such a choice. First bring him back and look for Gentleman Jiao. It would depend on his fate if he can be saved or not. Kong Yang shrugged. "Listen to you then." However, one suddenly saw the youth open his eyes and use all his energy to squeeze out some words. "My, stole, something, flee." What is the meaning of his words? Kong Yang asked curiously. However, Yi Hongwang's head tilted and would not wake up no matter how one called for him. "No idea. Quickly leave else the servants will come," Mo King said. Both of them dared not make any mistakes. Thus they did not stay longer and quickly leave. Shin Miao was sitting at the room waiting for news. Emperor Yongl's action came so fast that many things were done beforehand. It was one thing to plan, but it was another thing if a plan could be successful. However, as Tai Yi and the few had gone for so long, it had made her heart heavy as she was thinking if Yi Mai had already fled. Just as she was thinking, she saw Jing's happy speaking. "They have come back." Shin Miao stood up and only heard Gu Yu, who was outside the doors, speaking with shock. "What is going on? Quickly invite Physician Jiao over." This was Mo King's voice. After that, the doors were pushed open and Mo King and Kong Yang walked in. Mo King was also carrying someone into the room and placed that person onto the bed. Shen Miao took a look and was startled and said coarsely, "Yi Hongwang." When this subordinate went up, he was laying in the study and seemed to be assassinated by others, and the assassin should be someone in the residence. Yi Mai and sibling were planning to flee and Tai Yi had followed them and left signals all the way. This subordinate will rush over immediately. One had already instructed others to invite Gentleman Jiao over. Mo King explained, "Who in the Yi residence has such a deep hatred with a child?" Shen Miao saw the similarity of Yi Hongwang's face with Fu Ming. Her heart felt very upset and was somewhat angry too, that could use such a poisonous action onto a child. Perhaps it is done by Yi Mai? Kong Yang said. Shen Miao frowned. What is the explanation for those words? This child woke up once and said a few words. "My stole something and flee." Mo King said. This subordinate guessed that she perhaps wanted to say that Yi Mai and stolen something and flee, and perhaps when she was stealing, Yi Hongwang saw it and thus she silenced him by murdering him. But what exactly did one stole? Kong Yang said, gold and jewelry. To harm a child because of these things? This female is truly vicious. Not right. Shen Miao said suddenly. Both of them were startled and asked at the same time, what is not right? Not right. This matter is not right. Suddenly a thought flashed in Shen Miao's heart. She had no time to explain and immediately said, Kong Yang, immediately follow Tai Yi's signals and go over. If Yi Mai wants to leave Long Yi, no matter if it is a water or land route, do not stop her but prolong their time. Slow them down. Get them to go slowly. Don't stop them. Kong Yang was startled. Yes, don't stop. Shen Miao said, and she looked back at Yi Hongwang on the bed and called Jings and Gu Yuan so that Jiao Yang could immediately treat him when he comes in. Finally she said to Mo King, come with me to the study. Even though everyone was unable to make head or tails, upon seeing her serious expression, they did not dare to refute and followed her instructions. Shen Miao's gaze was as sharp as a knife. My Furan stole something and flee? Stole what? Flee towards where? Shen Miao almost did not understand her intentions and thus specially sending her off a trip.